I used to think the end of a marriage would be quiet. A slow drift, long silences, maybe a final conversation that felt more like a sigh than a storm. But standing in the doorway of our bedroom that night, watching my wife shove clothes into a suitcase, I learned something. Endings don't always whisper. Sometimes they scream. My name is Ethan. I'm 38, born and raised in Ohio. And for most of my adult life, I believed that if you treated someone with respect, they'd return it. Melissa was the first person who made me believe in partnership. We met at a friend's barbecue. She had this laugh, bright, easy, like she'd known you for years. Fiery, outspoken, charismatic. And for a long time her fire felt like home. But lately that same fire had been burning me. It started small. New male friends I'd never heard of. Long nights out. And every time I asked a simple question, "Who's picking you up?" Or, "Why didn't you answer your phone?" I got the same response. "You're too controlling." I wasn't policing her. I just wanted transparency, the same transparency I always gave her. But to her, every question was an accusation. Every boundary was an attack. That night I came home from work and heard thuds upstairs. Drawers slamming. Hangers clattering. When I walked into the bedroom, she was tossing clothes into her suitcase with shaking hands. "What are you doing?" I asked. She spun around, eyes blazing. "What does it look like?" "I'm packing." My stomach tightened. "Why?" "Because I'm done," she snapped. "Done with your jealousy. Done with your insecurity. Done with your inability to accept that I have male friends." I leaned against the doorway, trying to stay calm. "Melissa, having friends isn't the issue. Hiding things is." She laughed. A sharp, humorless sound. "God, you're unbelievable. I tell you I'm going out with Liam, and you act like I'm cheating." "You told me after midnight," I said quietly. "And you came home at 3 a.m. It was a fun night. Why do you have to make everything a problem?" Then she said it. The ultimatum that wasn't really about boundaries at all. "Accept my male friends or I'm leaving. That's the deal." She expected me to panic, fight, beg. But something inside me went still. "If that's your choice," I said, "I won't stop you." Her face twisted, confusion, irritation, then something like panic. "What do you mean you won't stop me? I'm not going to beg someone to stay when they've already decided to leave." She blinked fast, hands freezing midair. "So that's it," she said. "You're just letting me go?" "I'm not letting you do anything. You made this decision long before tonight." For the first time she stopped packing. The room fell silent except for the low hum of the ceiling fan. I wasn't angry. I wasn't broken. I was tired. Tired of feeling like a villain for wanting basic respect. Tired of being the only one fighting for something meant for two. Tired of loving someone who treated boundaries like shackles and secrecy like freedom. Melissa zipped her suitcase hard. "Fine," she said. "If you want me gone, I'll go." "That's not what I said." "It's what you meant," she fired back. But it wasn't. The truth was simpler and sadder. I had spent 2 years trying to keep us together. She had spent 2 years drifting away. I finally whispered, "If this is what you want, then go." Her breathing hitched. She looked toward the living room, toward the photos of our life together. Birthdays. Vacations. Random Saturday mornings. Moments she once cherished. Her fingers twitched, almost like she wanted to touch them but didn't. Feeling anything might have stopped her. And she couldn't afford that now. "I thought you would fight for me," she said. "I did fight," I told her. "But I'm done fighting alone." She stood there for a moment, holding her suitcase like it weighed 1,000 pounds. Then she turned and walked down the hall. Every step echoed like a countdown. And just like that, she was gone. I sat on the edge of the bed and felt something unexpected. Relief. Not joy. Not triumph. Just quiet, heavy relief. Relief that I no longer had to defend my worth. Relief that I didn't have to chase someone who wanted to run. Relief that the smoke I'd been breathing for years wasn't mine to carry anymore. When her car pulled out of the driveway, I realized something. She carried the fire. I carried the smoke. And tonight I finally stepped out of it. The days after were strangely calm. Same routines, work, meals, errands, but without the constant weight of suspicion or tension. Then I got a text from Liam, the friend she insisted I accept. "Hey man, just checking if she got home safe." I read it and let out a small laugh. Not out of bitterness, just clarity. Life goes on. People come and go. Boundaries matter. Weeks passed. Friends noticed the shift in me, the steadiness, the calm. They didn't ask about Melissa, and I didn't bring her up. Because this wasn't a story about someone leaving. It was a story about finally returning to myself. I don't know where she is now. And I don't need to. My life is quieter. Softer. Honest. Mornings without tension. Evenings without doubt. Conversations without fear. And in that calm, I found something I didn't realize I had lost. Peace. Sometimes I think back to that night, her fire, her anger, the slam of drawers. But there's no resentment. Just clarity. Her fire didn't destroy me. It revealed me. Showed me what I could endure. Showed me the strength in staying calm when someone expects chaos. I didn't scream. I didn't chase. I didn't beg. I simply stayed true. And in the silence that followed her leaving, I finally came home to myself.